Hello, Anna. It's great to see you. I was just thinking about starting a small garden this year.
Oh, Mark, that's wonderful news. Gardening is such a rewarding hobby. What kind of garden are you thinking about? Vegetables, flowers, or maybe herbs?
I'm leaning towards vegetables, I think. Something easy to start with. I'd love to grow some of my own food.
That's a fantastic goal. Fresh vegetables from your own garden taste so much better. But where should we begin? Garden planning can seem a bit big at first.
Exactly. That's why I wanted to talk to you. You always have such a lovely garden. Do you have any tips for a beginner like me?
Of course, Mark. The first step, and probably the most important, is to choose the right spot for your garden. You need a place that gets plenty of sunlight. Most vegetables need at least 6 to 8 hours of direct sun every day.
6 to 8 hours? Wow, that's a lot. I need to observe my backyard then. I thought any sunny spot would be fine.
It's a common mistake. Without enough sun, your plants won't grow well, and they won't produce much fruit or vegetables. Also, consider the water source. Is it easy to water your chosen spot?
That's smart. I hadn't thought about that. Carrying water buckets back and forth would get tiring quickly. My hose reaches one side of the yard easily.
Perfect. So, sun and water access are the first two things to check. Do you have a specific area in mind already?
I was thinking of a spot near the back fence. It seems to get a lot of sun in the afternoon. I'll watch it more closely tomorrow. What about the size of the garden? Should I start big or small?
Definitely start small, Mark, especially for your first garden. A small, successful garden is much more encouraging than a large, overwhelming one. Maybe a 4 foot by 4 foot raised bed, or even just a few large containers.
A raised bed? What's the benefit of that? I thought I would just dig straight into the ground.
Raised beds are great because you can control the soil much better. You fill them with good quality soil, which is often better than the soil in your existing yard. They also drain well and warm up faster in spring.
That makes sense. Better soil means better plants, right?
Exactly. Good soil is key. Once you have your sunny spot and decide on the size, the next step is choosing what to plant. What vegetables do you like to eat the most?
I love tomatoes, cucumbers, and lettuce. Maybe some peppers too. Are those good for beginners?
Tomatoes and lettuce are excellent choices for beginners. Cucumbers can be a bit more challenging because they need space to vine, but there are bush varieties that are good for smaller gardens. Peppers are also a good option, especially if you have plenty of sun.
Okay, so maybe tomatoes and lettuce for sure? And I can look for bush cucumbers? What about herbs? Are they easy?
Yes, herbs like basil, parsley, and mint are very easy to grow. They can even be grown in small pots on a windowsill if you don't have much garden space.
That's a good idea for basil. I use a lot of basil for cooking.
Once you've chosen your plants, you need to think about when to plant them. Different vegetables have different planting times. For example, lettuce likes cooler weather, so you can plant it earlier in spring and again in late summer. Tomatoes need warmth, so you plant them after the last frost.
Last frost? How do I know when that is?
You can usually find the average last frost date for your area online or ask at a local garden center. Here in Austria, it's usually around mid-May, but it can vary. It's important not to plant warm weather crops too early or they might die.
That's a crucial piece of information. So I need to check the planting schedule for each vegetable?
Yes, exactly. And it's also a good idea to rotate your crops each year. Don't plant the same vegetable in the exact same spot year after year.
Why is that?
Rotating crops helps to prevent diseases and keeps the soil healthy. Different plants use different nutrients from the soil, so moving them around helps to balance things out. It also makes it harder for pests to find their favorite plants each season.
Ah, I see. So variety is not just for my plate, but for the soil too. This is more involved than I thought, but it sounds interesting.
It is. It's like a puzzle. Another thing to consider is companion planting. Some plants grow better when they are next to certain other plants.
Companion planting? That sounds a bit advanced for a beginner. Can you give me an example?
Not at all. It's quite simple. For instance, planting marigolds near your vegetables can help repel some pests. Or basil is said to improve the flavor of tomatoes. There are many charts online that show good companion plants.
That's fascinating. So some plants are like good neighbors.
Exactly. Now, let's talk about tools. You don't need many fancy tools to start. A good hand trowel, a small spade, and a watering can or hose with a spray nozzle are usually enough.
I have a watering can, and I think I can find a trowel. What about gloves? My hands get dirty easily.
Yes, gardening gloves are a must. They protect your hands from dirt, thorns, and blisters. Choose a comfortable pair that fits well.
Okay. Gloves, trowel, spade, watering can. Got it. Do I need anything else for the soil, like fertilizer?
For your first year, if you use good quality potting mix in a raised bed, you might not need much fertilizer. However, adding some compost is always beneficial. Compost improves soil structure and provides nutrients slowly over time.
What exactly is compost?
Compost is decomposed organic matter like old leaves, grass clippings, and kitchen scraps. It's like superfood for your garden soil. You can buy it in bags, or you can even start your own compost pile.
A compost pile? That sounds like another project. Maybe for next year. I'll buy some for now. So, I put the compost into the raised bed with the potting mix.
Yes, mix it in well. It will make your soil rich and happy. Remember, healthy soil means healthy plants. Now let's talk about watering. It's very important.
How often should I water? Every day?
Not necessarily every day. It depends on the weather, the type of plant, and the soil. The best way to check is to feel the soil. Stick your finger about an inch or two into the soil. If it feels dry, it's time to water. If it's still damp, wait a bit.
So it's not a fixed schedule I need to check.
Exactly. Overwatering can be just as bad as underwatering. Another thing to remember is weeding. Weeds compete with your plants for water, nutrients, and sunlight, so you need to remove them regularly.
Ugh, weeding. I don't like weeding. Is there an easy way to do it?
Not really an easy way, but doing it regularly makes it much less work. Small weeds are much easier to pull than big established ones. A layer of mulch around your plants can also help suppress weeds.
Mulch. What kind of mulch?
You can use wood chips, straw, or even shredded leaves. It also helps to keep the soil moist and regulate its temperature.
Okay, so mulch helps with weeds and water. That's good to know.
Yes, it's a great help. Lastly, Mark, don't be afraid to make mistakes. Every gardener makes them, especially when starting out. It's all part of the learning process. Just enjoy the journey and the fresh produce.
Thanks, Anna. You've given me so much great information. I feel much more confident now. I'm excited to get started.
I'm happy to help. If you have more questions or need help, just ask. Maybe next time we can talk about how to deal with common garden pests.
Sounds good. I'll probably have a lot more questions once I actually start planting. Thank you again, Anna.
You're very welcome, Mark. Happy gardening!